Chapter 6. The Awakening. Zilara stood on the observation deck of her spacecraft. The cityscape of Washington, D.C., spread out beneath her like a glittering tapestry. The mission had been progressing well, yet a persistent sense of unease gnawed at her. As she pondered the day's events, a soft chime interrupted her thoughts. It was a message from Zalarian, urgent and demanding her immediate attention. With a deep breath, she activated the communication console. The holographic image of her superior High Counselor Rollin flickered to life. The concern etched on Raylan's usually composed face told Zilara that this was no ordinary message. Zilara, we have a crisis. A catastrophic seismic event has struck the city of Nalarin. The infrastructure is severely damaged, and countless lives are at risk. We need you to return at once. Raylan's voice was grave, each word weighted with urgency. I understand, High Counselor. I will prepare for departure immediately, Zilara replied, her mind already racing with the logistics of the journey ahead. As the communication ended, Zilara turned to find Dr. Ethan Carter standing at the doorway. Concern mirrored in his piercing green eyes. Ethan had become an integral part of the mission, his insights and dedication challenging Zilara's preconceived notions about humans, especially human males. What's happening, Zilara? Ethan asked, stepping closer. A disaster on Zalarian. I must return immediately to assist with the relief efforts, Zilara said, her tone clipped with urgency. Ethan's brow furrowed in thought. Is there anything we can do to help? Earth has resources and technology that might be useful. Zilara hesitated, the offer unexpected. Your willingness to assist is appreciated, but the journey is perilous and the situation dire. It may be too dangerous. Ethan's resolve hardened. Dangerous or not, we're allies now. Let us help. I have contacts at NASA and other agencies who can mobilize quickly. Seeing Ethan's determination, Zilara felt a surge of gratitude and something deeper, an appreciation for the human's bravery and loyalty. Very well, we can use all the help we can get. Within hours, a joint task force was assembled. Earth's finest scientists, engineers, and medical experts, coordinated by Ethan, prepared to embark on the journey to Zilarian. The spacecraft, now loaded with advanced equipment and supplies, hummed with an air of urgency and cooperation. As they hurtled through the void of space, Zilara found herself in the makeshift command center, monitoring the situation on Nalarin. Screens displayed the devastation, warring structures reduced to rubble, and the once vibrant city now a landscape of chaos. The Zilarians, known for their resilience and advanced technology, were struggling against the scale of the disaster. Ethan entered the command center, his presence a steadying force. We've analyzed the seismic data and identified potential stabilization points. If we can reinforce these areas, we can prevent further collapses. Zilara nodded, impressed by the speed and efficiency of the human team. Your expertise is invaluable, Ethan. Thank you. Working side by side, they coordinated the efforts. Ethan's team set up mobile medical units, utilizing Earth's advanced medical technology to treat the injured. Engineers from both worlds collaborated to stabilize buildings and restore critical infrastructure. The seamless cooperation between the species was a testament to the potential of their alliance. As the days passed, the immediate crisis began to stabilize. Amid the flurry of activity, Zilara and Ethan found moments of quiet, discussing the future and the lessons learned from the disaster. It was during one such moment, beneath the alien stars of Zilarian, that their bond deepened. Ethan, your dedication and bravery have surpassed all expectations, Zilara said, her voice carrying a rare note of warmth. Ethan smiled, a light twinkling in his eyes. Zilara felt a stirring within her, emotions she had long dismissed as primitive now blossoming into something profound. You have shown me the true strength of your kind. My perceptions were flawed, and for that, I apologize. Prejudices run deep on both sides, Ethan replied gently. Their conversation was interrupted by a call from the command center. The crisis had reached a critical juncture. A major aftershock threatened the stability of the main power grid. If it failed, the entire relief operation would be jeopardized. We must act quickly, Zalara said, urgency returning to her tone. Racing against time, they coordinated the efforts to reinforce the power grid. Ethan's quick thinking and Exilara's strategic planning proved to be a formidable combination. As the ground trembled beneath them, they worked tirelessly, their efforts a testament to their growing partnership. In the aftermath, as the tremors subsided and the grid held steady, Exilara looked at Ethan with newfound admiration. You have saved countless lives today. Your bravery and ingenuity are remarkable. Ethan, wary but triumphant, simply nodded. In the days that followed, the combined efforts of Xylarian and Earth restored stability to Nalaran. The success of the mission was celebrated, and the alliance between the two worlds strengthened. As they prepared to return to Earth, Exilara and Ethan stood on the observation deck, the sprawling city of Nalaran recovering beneath them. The bond they had forged in the crucible of crisis had transformed them both. Ethan, I have come to value you not just as an ally, but as a friend, Exilara said, her voice filled with genuine affection. And I feel the same, Zalara, Ethan replied, his hand resting on Exilara's shoulder. This mission has shown me the depth of our potential when we work together. Their eyes met, and in that moment, they both understood the significance of their connection. It was more than a professional partnership. It was a profound and abiding bond that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. As the spacecraft ascended, leaving Xalarian behind, Exilara reflected on the journey that had brought them here. She had arrived with prejudices and misconceptions, but through the crisis and Ethan's unwavering support, she had found a new understanding. For Exilara, the awakening was not just about recognizing the strength and complexity of human males, but about embracing the emotions and connections that made them truly extraordinary. And in Ethan, she had found a partner who embodied the very best of humanity. Their journey was far from over, but together they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by a bond forged in the stars. Chapter 7: A New Understanding. Zalara stood on the observation deck of her spaceship, staring out at the vibrant blue and green planet below. Earth had surprised her in many ways, but nothing had been as transformative as her relationship with Ethan. The human xenobiologist had challenged her preconceptions and stirred feelings she had never expected to experience. Now, as they faced the aftermath of the crisis on Xalarian, Zalara found herself at a crossroads. The natural disaster that had struck Xalarian was one of unprecedented scale, threatening the stability of their major cities. When Exilara received the urgent call to return home, she felt a deep sense of duty. Yet, Ethan's offer to assist had left her conflicted. Why would a human risk so much for a species that had looked down upon them? Ethan's actions had shattered Exilara's beliefs, showing her a depth of character and compassion that she had previously dismissed as non-existent in humans. As the ship docked at the Xalarian capital, Exilara braced herself for the challenges ahead. The city, usually a marvel of architectural brilliance with its floating spires and shimmering energy fields, now lay in disarray. The natural disaster had left its mark, with buildings crumbled and energy supplies disrupted. Exilara felt a pang of sorrow and responsibility. She had to help her people, but she couldn't ignore the growing bond with Ethan. Ethan had insisted on accompanying Exilara, bringing with him advanced Earth technology and a team of experts. Their arrival was met with a mix of skepticism and curiosity by the Xylarian. The humans' presence was unprecedented, and many viewed them with suspicion. However, Exilara stood by Ethan, advocating for their cooperation. In the control center of the capital, Exilara and Ethan coordinated the relief efforts. Holographic maps displayed the extent of the damage, and teams were dispatched to the most critical areas. Ethan worked tirelessly, his calm demeanor and methodical approach earning the respect of the Xylarian engineers and scientists. Exilara watched him, a sense of admiration growing within her. Ethan was not just competent, he was extraordinary. As the days turned into weeks, Exilara and Ethan's partnership deepened. They spent long hours together, strategizing and solving problems. Their conversations drifted from work to personal experiences, each learning more about the other's world and perspectives. Ethan spoke of Earth's history, its triumphs and failures, and his own journey as a scientist. Ixalara shared stories of Xylarian, its culture, and her own struggles with the rigid expectations of her society. One evening, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the city, now slowly recovering from the disaster, Ethan turned to Ixalara. "You've done an incredible job here, Xalara. Your people are resilient, and with your leadership, they'll thrive again." Xalara looked at Ethan, the human's words resonating deeply. "Thank you, Ethan, but I couldn't have done it without your help. You've shown me that humans are far more capable and compassionate than I ever imagined." Ethan smiled, a warmth in his eyes that Xalara found both comforting and disarming. "We have a lot to learn from each other, Xalara. That's what makes this alliance so important." Xalara felt a surge of emotion, a mix of gratitude, admiration, and something deeper. "Ethan, you've changed the way I see your kind. You've changed the way I see your kind. You've changed the way I see myself." I paused, struggling to find the right words. "I care for you more than I thought possible." Ethan's smile softened, and he placed a hand on Xalara's arm. "I care for you too, Xalara. This connection we have, it's something special, but I know you have a duty to your people, just as I have to mine." Xalara nodded, a sense of clarity washing over her. "My duty is important, but so is this bond between us. I want to fight for a future where our worlds can coexist peacefully, where we can be together." The next day, Xalara called a meeting with the Xalarian Council. The elders, wise and experienced, listened intently as Xalara and Ethan presented their proposal for a new alliance. Xalara spoke passionately about the need to overcome prejudices and work together for a brighter future. She highlighted Ethan's contributions, showcasing the human's dedication and ingenuity. Ethan then took the floor, addressing the council with a calm but firm resolve. "Our worlds are different, but it's these differences that make us stronger. We've seen the power of collaboration in the face of this disaster. Together we can achieve so much more." The council deliberated, their expressions a mix of contemplation and concern. Finally, the head elder, a venerable Xylarian with eyes that seemed to pierce through time itself, spoke. "Xalara, you have shown great wisdom and courage. Your bond with this human has indeed opened our eyes. We will support this new alliance, but it will require significant changes in our society's views and policies." Xalara felt a wave of relief and determination. "Thank you, Elder." The days that followed were filled with preparations for the formal alliance ceremony. Xalara and Ethan worked tirelessly, drafting agreements and coordinating with both Xalarian and Earth representatives. Their bond grew stronger, each day reaffirming their commitment to each other and their shared vision. On the day of the ceremony, the Xylarian capital was aglow with renewed energy. Representatives from Earth and Xalarian gathered in the Grand Hall, a symbol of unity and hope. Xalara and Ethan stood side by side, their presence a testament to the power of understanding and cooperation. As they signed the treaty, Xalara looked at Ethan, her heart full of gratitude and affection. "This is just the beginning, Ethan. Together we will build a future where our worlds can thrive together." Ethan smiled, his eyes shining with emotion. "I'm with you, Xalara, now and always." The ceremony concluded with a grand celebration, the hall filled with music and laughter. Xalara and Ethan mingled with the guests, their bond a beacon of hope for all. As the night wore on, they found a quiet moment to themselves, standing on the same balcony where they had shared their heartfelt conversation. Xalara took Ethan's hand, a sense of peace and happiness enveloping her. "Thank you, Ethan, for everything. You've given me a new understanding, a new purpose." Ethan squeezed Xalara's hand, his smile reflecting the depth of his feelings. "And you've given me a new home, Xalara. Let's continue this journey together, wherever it may lead." As they stood there, looking out at the city, now vibrant and alive, they knew that their journey was just beginning. Together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, their bond unbreakable, their love a testament to the power of understanding and acceptance. And so, under the shimmering stars of Xalarian, Xalara and Ethan embraced their new understanding, ready to build a future where their worlds could coexist in harmony and peace. Chapter 8: The Diplomatic Resolution. The sun was setting over Washington, D.C., casting a warm, golden glow over the city. The grand conference room where the final discussions were to take place was filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. Delegates from both Earth and Zalarian had gathered, each holding their breath for the outcome of this crucial meeting. Zilara stood by one of the large windows, her violet eyes reflecting the colors of the sky. She felt a strange mix of emotions: hope, fear, excitement, and something deeper, something she had only recently come to understand. Next to her, Ethan Carter was reviewing the treaty documents, his expression focused yet serene. The two of them had worked tirelessly to draft this agreement, their bond growing stronger with each challenge they faced together. "Are you ready?" Ethan asked, his voice steady but carrying a hint of nervousness. Zilara turned to him, a small smile playing on her lips. "As ready as I can be. This is more than just a diplomatic mission for me now." Ethan nodded, understanding the weight of Zilara's words. For both of them, this treaty was not just about interstellar cooperation, but also a testament to their personal journey and the transformation they had undergone together. The delegates took their seats, the room falling into a hushed silence. The human representatives, dressed in formal suits, looked on with a mixture of hope and skepticism. The Zalarian delegation, their shimmering blue skin contrasting with the earth tones around them, held their own quiet confidence. At the head of the table, the leaders of both delegations, President Martinez of Earth and High Counselor Vorix of Zalarian, prepared to begin the session. President Martinez opened the meeting. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to finalize the treaty that will mark a new era of peace and cooperation between our worlds. Ambassador Zilara and Dr. Ethan Carter have played a pivotal role in bringing us to this point. I invite them now to present the final draft of the agreement." Ethan stood, the treaty document in his hands, and moved to the center of the room. Zilara joined him, their presence commanding the attention of everyone in the room. "Thank you, President Martinez," Ethan began. "This treaty represents months of hard work, compromise, and mutual understanding. It is a reflection of our shared commitment to a future where both Earth and Zilarian can thrive together." Zilara took over, her voice clear and resonant. "The key principles of this treaty are based on respect, equality, and shared knowledge. We have outlined various areas of cooperation, including scientific research, cultural exchange, and mutual defense. But beyond these practical measures, this treaty symbolizes a deeper connection between our peoples." As Zilara spoke, she felt the weight of her own words. She glanced at Ethan, drawing strength from the presence of her partner. The room listened intently, the gravity of the moment sinking in. High Counselor Vorix leaned forward, his gaze piercing. "Ambassador Zilara, Dr. Carter, you have both advocated strongly for this treaty. However, there are still concerns among our people regarding the sincerity and longevity of this agreement. How do you propose we address these concerns?" Ethan stepped forward, his eyes meeting Vorix's. "High Counselor, we understand the fears and doubts that come with such a monumental change. To address these concerns, we have included provisions for regular reviews and joint councils to ensure transparency and adaptability. But more importantly, this treaty is built on the personal trust and respect that Zilara and I have developed. It is this foundation that will guide us through any challenges we may face." There was a murmur of agreement and some skepticism among the delegates. The tension in the room was palpable. Zilara knew this was the critical moment. "High Counselor," Zilara continued, "I too had my doubts when I first arrived on Earth. I viewed humans as primitive and unpredictable. But my time here and my work with Dr. Carter has shown me the depth and potential of humanity. This treaty is not just a diplomatic document. It is a promise that we will work together, learn from each other, and build a future where both our species can flourish." The room fell silent as Zilara finished speaking. The weight of her words hung in the air, and for a moment it seemed as if the entire universe was holding its breath. President Martinez broke the silence. "We will now open the floor for any final comments or questions before we move to the signing of the treaty." Several delegates raised their hands, voicing their concerns and suggestions. Each question was met with thoughtful responses from Ethan and Exilera, their synergy evident in the way they complemented each other's answers. They spoke of shared scientific endeavors, cultural festivals, and educational exchanges, painting a vivid picture of a collaborative future. As the final questions were addressed, High Counselor Vorix stood. Ambassador Exilera, Dr. Carter, your dedication and vision are clear. While there will always be challenges, it is evident that you both believe in the potential of this alliance. With that, I am ready to sign this treaty and embark on this new journey together. President Martinez nodded in agreement. Then let us proceed. The signing ceremony was a solemn yet hopeful affair. Zilara and Ethan watched as the leaders of both worlds signed the treaty, their names becoming part of history. When it was their turn, Zilara felt a surge of emotion. This document was more than ink on paper. It was a testament to the journey she and Ethan had undertaken, a journey that had changed them both profoundly. After the signatures were placed, there was a moment of silence before the room erupted into applause. Delegates from both sides stood, shaking hands and exchanging smiles. The sense of relief and accomplishment was palpable. As the ceremony concluded, Ethan turned to Exilera, his eyes shining with pride. "We did it, Zilara. This is just the beginning." Zilara smiled, her heart full. "Yes, Ethan." The night was filled with celebrations, but for Exilera and Ethan, it was also a time of reflection. They had come so far from their first awkward meeting. They had faced challenges and prejudices, both external and internal. But through it all, they had found common ground, building a partnership that transcended the stars. Later, as they stood alone on a balcony overlooking the city, Exilera felt a profound sense of peace. She turned to Ethan, her voice soft but filled with conviction. "Thank you, Ethan, for everything." Ethan smiled, reaching out to take Exilera's hand. "No thank you, Exilera, for showing me that even the vastness of space can be bridged with understanding and respect." Under the stars, with the city of Earth below them and the universe above, they stood together, ready to face whatever the future held. Their journey had just begun, and with it, the promise of a new era of unity and cooperation between their worlds. Chapter 9: A Personal Journey. The diplomatic mission had been a resounding success, and both Earth and Zalarian stood on the brink of a new era of interstellar cooperation. Yet, as the celebrations subsided and the final agreements were signed, Exilera found herself grappling with an inner turmoil that she could no longer ignore. The sprawling gardens of the Earth Embassy were quiet in the early evening light. Zilara walked along the winding paths, her thoughts a tangled web of duty, emotion, and uncertainty. The meticulously tended flowers, so different from the bioluminescent flora of Xylarian, seemed to mock her confusion with their vibrant simplicity. Ethan found her there, standing beside a tranquil pond where koi fish glided beneath the surface. "Zilara," he called softly, not wanting to startle her. "I've been looking for you." Zilara turned, her violet eyes reflecting the setting sun. "Ethan," she replied, the name rolling off her tongue with a mix of warmth and hesitance. "I needed some time to think." Ethan stepped closer, his presence a steadying force. "I understand. It's been a lot to take in." Zilara nodded, her gaze drifting back to the pond. "I never expected to be so conflicted. My entire life has been dedicated to my people, to my duties as a diplomat. But now I find myself questioning everything I thought I knew." Ethan's brow furrowed with concern. "Questioning isn't necessarily a bad thing, Zilara. It means you're growing, evolving. You've seen that not everything is as black and white as our societies have made it out to be." A silence stretched between them, filled only by the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant hum of the city. Zilara took a deep breath, struggling to articulate the storm of emotions within her. "I feel as though I'm being pulled in two directions. On one hand, my duty to Zalarian is clear, but on the other, there is us. What we have built together. It's something I never anticipated, but now I cannot imagine my life without it." Ethan reached out, placing a hand on Exilera's arm, a touch that was both grounding and electrifying. "You don't have to choose between the two. What we've built here is a bridge, not a barrier. You've shown your people that cooperation and understanding are possible. You can be a diplomat who embodies that very message. Zilara looked at Ethan, seeing not just a human but a partner, a confidant, and an equal. You make it sound so simple. It's not simple, Ethan admitted, but nothing worthwhile ever is. We've faced challenges together and come out stronger. This is just another challenge. The air between them seemed to vibrate with the unspoken connection they shared. Zilara found herself leaning into that connection, allowing it to anchor her. Ethan, you have been my guide through this strange and wonderful journey. I fear that without you, I would lose my way. Ethan's eyes softened, his hand slipping down to grasp Xilara's. And you've opened my eyes to possibilities I never dreamed of. We can navigate this together. You're not alone in this. Zilara felt a swell of emotion, something deep and profound that she had never experienced before. It was as if a part of her that had been dormant was now awakening, brought to life by Ethan's unwavering support. Your world has taught me so much, but you have taught me the most important lesson of all. That connection transcends boundaries. Ethan smiled, a smile that was both gentle and reassuring. And your world has shown me that we are capable of so much more than we realize. Together we can create a future where those boundaries are nothing more than memories. The resolve in Ethan's voice, the sincerity in his eyes, filled Zilara with a newfound clarity. She realized that her path was not a fork in the road, but a journey that intertwined with Ethan's, leading to a horizon they would explore together. I will stay, Zilara declared, the words carrying the weight of her decision. Not just for the mission, but for us. For the future we can build together. Ethan's smile broadened, and he pulled Zilara into a heartfelt embrace. We'll take it one step at a time. We have all the time in the world. In that embrace, Zilara felt a sense of belonging she had never known. It was as if the final piece of a complex puzzle had fallen into place, revealing a picture of unity and hope. She knew there would be challenges ahead, both personal and professional, but with Ethan by her side, she was ready to face them. As the evening gave way to night, the two of them stood by the pond, the stars beginning to twinkle overhead. The world around them was vast and filled with uncertainty, but together they had found a certainty that transcended the stars themselves. Their journey was just beginning, a journey that would take them across galaxies and into the depths of their own hearts. They would learn, grow, and change together, forging a bond that would not only bridge the gap between their worlds, but also illuminate the path to a brighter, more harmonious future. And so, under the watchful eyes of the universe, Zilara and Ethan embarked on their new adventure, their hearts and minds united in a mission that was far greater than diplomacy. It was a mission of love, understanding, and the unyielding belief that even the deepest prejudices could be overcome. The diplomatic chambers of the United Interstellar Alliance buzzed with a quiet hum of anticipation. Delegates from various planets, representing countless species, filled the vast hall, their diverse appearances a testament to the galaxy's boundless variety. The atmosphere was thick with a sense of history in the making, and at the center of it all stood Zilara and Ethan, the architects of this unprecedented alliance. Years had passed since the initial encounter between Zilara and Ethan, and much had changed in that time. The once skeptical Zilarian diplomat had undergone a profound transformation, both personally and professionally. Her relationship with Ethan, which began as an unlikely friendship and blossomed into something deeper, had been the catalyst for this change. Together, they had bridged the vast expanse between their worlds, fostering a bond that transcended the stars. As Zilara looked out over the assembly, she couldn't help but reflect on her journey. When she first arrived on Earth, she viewed human males as primitive and emotionally volatile. Ethan had shattered those misconceptions with his intelligence, bravery, and unwavering dedication. Now, standing side by side with Ethan, Zilara felt a swell of pride and gratitude. Their bond had not only reshaped their own lives, but had also laid the foundation for a new era of interstellar peace. The hall quieted as Zilara stepped forward to address the assembly. Her deep violet eyes scanned the crowd, noting the mix of anticipation and respect. She spoke with a calm, authoritative tone, her voice carrying the weight of her experiences and newfound wisdom. Distinguished delegates, Zilara began, we gather here today not just as representatives of our respective worlds, but as pioneers of a new chapter in our shared history. The alliance we forged today is built on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation. It is a testament to what we can achieve when we look beyond our differences and embrace our common goals. As she spoke, Exilara felt a surge of emotion. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with challenges and obstacles, but it had also been immensely rewarding. She glanced at Ethan, who stood beside her, a silent pillar of strength and support. Ethan's presence was a constant reminder of the power of connection and the importance of challenging one's own prejudices. Ethan stepped forward to speak next, his voice warm and confident. Our journey began with skepticism and misunderstanding, but through open dialogue and collaboration, we have built something extraordinary. This alliance is not just a diplomatic agreement. It is a symbol of hope and unity. It represents our collective aspiration to create a galaxy where all species can coexist in peace and harmony. The audience listened intently, captivated by the sincerity and passion in Ethan's words. His dedication to the cause had been unwavering, and his efforts had earned him respect and admiration across the galaxy. Together, Ethan and Exilara had become a beacon of hope, their partnership a shining example of what could be achieved through understanding and cooperation. As the formalities of the ceremony concluded, Exilara and Ethan found themselves surrounded by well-wishers and dignitaries. The atmosphere was one of celebration and optimism, a stark contrast to the initial tension and mistrust that had characterized their early encounters. Zilara felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that their efforts had not been in vain. Later, as the crowds began to disperse, Zilara and Ethan retreated to a quieter corner of the grand hall. They stood together, reflecting on the day's events and the journey that had brought them here. "Do you ever think about how far we've come?" Ethan asked, his gaze fixed on the distant stars visible through the hall's expansive windows. Zilara nodded, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Every day. It's remarkable to think that what began as a simple diplomatic mission has evolved into something so profound." Ethan turned to face her, his expression thoughtful. "It's because we were willing to challenge our own beliefs and see each other for who we truly are. That's what made the difference." Zilara reached out, clasping Ethan's hand. "And it's a lesson I will carry with me always. Our bond has shown me the true depth and complexity of human nature, and for that I am eternally grateful." As they stood there, hand in hand, they knew that their journey was far from over. The alliance they had forged was just the beginning. There would be new challenges to face, new prejudices to overcome, and new bridges to build. But they were ready, confident in their ability to navigate the unknown together. In the years that followed, Exilara and Ethan continued their work, tirelessly advocating for peace and understanding. Their personal and professional partnership became a symbol of hope, inspiring others to look beyond their differences and strive for a better future. Their story was told and retold across the galaxy, a legend that reminded all who heard it that even the deepest prejudices could be overcome, and that true understanding could lead to a brighter, more harmonious future. And so, as the stars shone brightly in the vast expanse of space, Zilara and Ethan's legacy endured, a testament to the power of connection and the enduring potential of the human spirit.